Welcome back to Dad Meat.
Yes, dude. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm in a fucking, a political race, but this is
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about this kid. We're happy to finally get him on the show.
yeah. It's been a pleasure. I mean, since this all started. No,
All right,
True.
so you have a chance to win $10,000, Tommy. Are you ready?
my dad's gay. No, I've never done this live with you guys with visual. The last time we did it, we were bunkered in like a Denny's diner. I don't know where the fuck that was, but it was one of the best times I've ever had on a show. So you guys are killing it right now.
Well,
I love your
man.
plants.
I was just gonna say one thing I really like about you is like every time I Zoom with you, you get a nicer and nicer plant set up.
Yeah, I'm addicted. I have a plant guy, Miguel, that is right next to my beer garden that I visit, and he sits in this little cove. And I had this is called a fiddlehead tree, and it was dying on me. I had no answers. I searched, and I felt like a parent, killing its fucking kid. And I asked him a random question. He's like, "Take it here, and I will take care of it for 2 weeks." So he has my adopted fiddle leaf tree that he's bringing back to life.
He's kenneling your trees.
Yeah, and in return, I felt so like I was like I gotta buy something, so I bought a new one, and then I bought this is a palm.
Lovely,
Wow.
dude. Hey,
Yeah,
do you
and
do the thing with that guy that you do with like everyone everywhere? Like, do you like kiss this dude and like know all of his family members' names and shit when you see him?
No, Kerry makes fun of me for this, but I make him feel warm. I maybe I put my hand on his shoulder. We're friends now. And,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Dude, this is like my fucking town in New York is. I hate to be corny, but it's like such a warm feeling. Like I walk past my my Asian laundry guy Mike, and I wave, and then I'll pass my I got a GNC type store, some Russian dude. I wave at him in the window, and then I go to my kinship coffee shop. I wave at him, and then I go to my. It's like the beginning of a shitty sitcom where like the guy knows everyone.
You're like Belle in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Oh yo.
No, it's warm. This is I only do this in the back little dojo area that we have because it's the only area that we get sunlight from east to west.
Dude, actually, kind of. I know. Jokes aside, man, it's kind of sick that like you're the one dude that's like, I love my neighborhood in New York. The people are friendly. I love seeing their faces. Everyone else is like, I should kill myself, but my parents refuse to pay for my funeral.
Well, most people that have this opinion of New York that's so negative, they come from affluence or wealth, and they don't know what they have. I think they're just spoiled little cunts, to be honest with you. And,
I like my old Miguel better.
yeah, dude, I can get any cuisine within 45 minutes, and within 2 to 3 blocks, city blocks. Like this place rules, and it doesn't close down. Even during the pandemic, I never left. Tomorrow, for our show, it will be the first time I left Queens since this all went down. I'm very excited. I'm gonna hug you till fucking old car keys come out of your asshole.
And Tommy, one thing about you is like you have a very intoxicating effect on people that I have never seen anyone else exhibit. Like people take to you in a way that like if you, it's like you rubbing peanut butter on your dick the way the dogs lap it up. So I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but you have that effect on men and women.
I appreciate that. I think it's important to make someone feel good in a short period of time, or just bust their balls and while doing the same thing. Like in college, I was told that for the first time because we would have like five keg parties at Temple in North Philly, and it was a shithole. And I lived with all these baseball players, and all these giant jacked ass black dudes would come in from the football squad, and like the Red Sea, all these fucking nerds would separate, letting these dudes get to the keg so they can, I don't know, squat it and then eat it. And I would just bust their balls. I would just immediately make fun of them. And I had this rapport that was kind of natural where like, if people think you're a real person and not just a dickhead or trying to get something out of them, you have like a warm connection in a small conversation. And as I got older, I realized that like you can do that with anyone as opposed to just with friends and acquaintances. So like people within the industry, I always thought like, I never played that game. I didn't give a shit about this industry or managers or agents or even like club managers, getting to know them. I think that's disgusting. That whole process is not real. I'd rather have an intimate conversation with a fucking Polish diner owner about sneakers. Like I don't give a shit. Like if you could touch someone in a very unique way and he's completely a stranger, it's more fulfilling emotionally for me. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, you make me. I envy that in you. When we go out together, I think it was the last time you were on here. You said that like, you don't go out with me. You have to babysit me.
Yeah.
But when like we
Yeah.
walk into like a bar or a restaurant, I can never tell if you're just handsome and friendly or if you're related to like the manager. Like, but the way that you guys greet each other.
That'd be great if I set the whole thing up. I was like, look, I'll pay you $100. Just everyone go to this one location. Just
Yeah.
keep my phone for
Yeah.
years.
Look, I need 30 high fives in an hour and a half. Who do you have? Just send them all over.
Dude,
Tell
when
them
you
I had
walk,
a complex handshake with the doorman. You're like, this is
dude, when you in any situation that you walk into, like you are greeted like a cologne-soaked cat. Like, people might not like cats, but as soon as you come up, they're touching you.
yo, fucking Gillis called me a cologne crusader on Matt and Shane. They like years ago they made fun of me like because I cuffed my jeans. This is like fucking 8 years ago, 10 years ago when they first started their podcast. And they were like, imagine like caring enough about cuffing your jeans. And they're just basically calling me a pussy. And now I think about him every single time I put jeans on and busted my balls. And now every time I squirt cologne on myself, because I like to smell good in public, I just think of Shane's dumb face. So it's tough.
Dude, there was a time maybe about, I would say 4 years ago where I saw you for the first time in a while. And you immediately looked down at my feet and you cuffed my jeans for me. And from that point on, I was like, all right, well, I now I am aware that I constantly look like a dad that's chaperoning a fucking field trip, thanks to Tommy. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, simple touches. You know, how else are you going to get a plant guy? You got to pick yourself up, bro.
Did you do his cuffs yet?
Who's?
Your plant guy?
No, Miguel, no. I mean, they're eye level because he's on a donkey when he works, but
Knock that off, Tommy. That's not true. Wait. Is he?
dude,
Is he on a donkey when he works?
he is the sweetest man. I adore him. And he's like chunky and he just puts together like bouquets all day long. He's got like the sweetest, attitude and persona. He's so soft.
Tommy, I picture him singing. Does he sing?
I bet he's got a fucking dynamite voice because he has a very high pitched natural voice, which means he's probably baritone in the shower.
Oh my god.
You know? Yeah, it's. I'll ask him. I'll do a cameo with him and I'll send it to you guys. I'll have him say hi to Dad Me.
That'd be sick.
Hola, Dad Me.
You're listening to Padre Carne.
Coming up next on Telemundo. Dad Me.
Tommy, do you how do I want to phrase that? Since you give away kindness like you're never gonna run out. Do you ever run into people where you're like, oh man, I should have held back on that guy? Like, do people ever make you regret being so warm?
Again, Carrie's kind of my guide with this kind of shit where like she doesn't. I'm kind of oblivious to the times when I want to give natural kindness, but I'm so aggressive about it, and I frighten people.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, when if I address a soft person and I'm just genuinely like, how you doing, buddy? And I get real handsy and they're they get nervous. But
for sure.
Yeah. She said tell a story about a woman on the subway. I don't want to get in that, but
what happened to the woman on the subway?
No, I just did the same thing. Like we the doors were closing and
I bit her ear.
And the woman kind of helped me out, and I put my hand on her. I was like, thank you so much. I did like a soft pop rub on the back of her back. I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. I said, thank you so much. We were so close. But all my coke energy was thrown right in her face, and she was frightened like a cat, dude. It was bad.
Oh no.
She's still been busting my balls about it. But the woman was just, not ready for all the love and positive vibes that I was throwing at her unwanted. I scared the shit out of her.
Mike and I went and got coffee with Chasen's moving to Oregon. I can't wait to visit him. But we went and got coffee with him to see him off, and I bumbled every interaction with our waitress, the entire meal.
In Oregon?
No,
this was in Philly. This was local. This was this week.
There was one point where both Chase and or all three of us, Chase and myself and the waitress, had thought Tim had told this waitress.
Whoa! Before you say that, everything that I said. First of all, I realized I don't like restaurants. I don't like the feeling of being served, and I'm constantly just worrying that I'm gonna like I'm asking too much or I'm being rude, and I don't want to do that. So then I end up like it's like self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. So everything that she says to me, I was just trying to like be so quick and like take up as little of her time as possible that I had to repeat everything I said. I was so mumbling into the table.
The jarring phrase that got all three of our attention was when the waitress had asked if he wanted some more coffee. He said, "I'll take a top off," but it came out as "take your top off."
Well, I mean, you just say he's autistic. I mean, this is like an episode of Love on the Spectrum. Especially with Chasen's the same way, though, right? Isn't he kind of like he's quiet in public?
Yeah, but Chasen's like autistic, but his savant energy is in socializing. So normal people respond very positively to him, and I'm the opposite.
His social positive vibes are like an old Baptist church parishioner trying to recruit you. Like he has like a like a deep dark fucking eyeball look at you when he's like being super nice.
I'm just saying when you're playing the numbers, that works for more people than it doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when she came over and she's like, "Can I get you some coffee or whatever?" Why isn't like one of the most common reactions like, "Yeah, I'll take a top off, top me off"? Is that not what people say about refilling coffee halfway through?
I think that is something that people could say, but there was something about the way you said it that the three of us misinterpreted that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, take your top off.
I've been re-examining my entire life since this.
You have to look the type to say "top me off." You know, you got to have like smell of like old cigarettes. You have cat hair on, like an old jacket. Like you have to look like you eat at a diner all the time, and you also have to be. You should have nailed it prior to. You can't just. That's too strong. You can't come out with "top me off" when you fucked up the first four statements. You know.
Again, dude, I'm learning every day, man.
But you are right. You could always double down on autism and just raise your voice 3 times and ask her what train she takes to work.
I would very much like for you to pour me some coffee and take off your blouse. I'm sorry, what did you say? I'd like more coffee, please, if I could. Yeah, if anything, I just went further into my shell, dude. And like, she didn't say, "Did you ask me to take my top off?" She was like, "Excuse me." Like it was so sharp that I was like, did I step on something? I thought that I had like rolled my chair over a foot or something.
This quarantine it actually did fuck up my social abilities. Like, after a while you have to re-energize yourself and reinvent your personality because you've just been monotonously watching the same dog shit and talking to like 3 people. You know, it's like you don't know what to start the conversation with, and most of these fucking drones are talking about either the weather or corona or some shit. You're not I forget who I talked about this, but like having a weekly podcast during a pandemic is very difficult because you're not experiencing life. I don't see you guys. We're not creating stories, right? So how do I bring up something that's impacting my life when really nothing is, because you have to look within yourself, within your own schedule. And there's nothing really to talk about there, because if you're talking about your own self and your own schedule, you're a pile of garbage. And if that consistently happens during a pandemic, where are you going to pull from the well of interest? I'm not doing anything. I walk to the garden. I mean, that's why I started off too strong with my plant guy story. Miguel should be my fucking closer. That's the most interesting thing that happened to me in the last 3 months. But it's true, you're not doing it. And there's no sports. There's no activities. There's just fat ass Latinas drinking fucking ice drinks on the street by me. And there's nothing to do.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to, and it's probably worse off for you. Number one, since you're such an offline dude, and you're in New York, which is way more shut down than where we are.
Yeah.
I was actually going to compliment you because I've never seen you in an internet argument this week. I was going to say that today.
Yeah, I don't. I like to go on Twitter for news. I've clicked on Facebook twice in the last year. Like I just get to see notifications. If I get an email saying someone tagged you or sent something to you, I want to see what kind of maniac is trying to drum up some shit. But I switched to Twitter, but Twitter's now becoming Facebook, and like that's why I like Instagram's most consistent, because it doesn't allow for you to put out a political message or a personal message just trying to draw up any attention. It's all attention whores. And it's mostly filled with people that just want a quick laugh, but they're like, I don't know. It grosses me out. It grosses me out that someone can spend, people with kids will spend 4 to 5 hours a day online responding to absolute fucking maniacs in their parents' basement. How does that even, what do you, I don't give a shit if you're staring into the sun for 4 hours. That's more productive than answering some fucking lunatic about his opinion on something. I don't give a fuck. I rarely give a fuck. I'm sorry, I'm getting nuts about this.
No. Keep going, dude. I'm loving this.
When we hang out, all of our friends, the reason I'm closest to our circle of Philly guys is because it never once are we going to go, do you think this is funny? What do you think about this? Or let's talk about what's going on. It's the small sphere of comedians thinking that what they do is interesting is baffling and disgusting to me. When shit is real in life, especially during this pandemic, and I open this phone to see a 5-minute stand-up set from someone posting 5 years ago, like, you think I give a fuck about you? Like, are you so delusional? I know like, people be like, well, you gotta find humor in something when everything sucks.
Yes,
go outside and fucking play a game. Throw a football at a mailman. Like, fuck that. I don't want to see how funny your old sketch was. Suck my dick. And this is why I got into plants, because I need something to fill this fucking hole in my heart. But I don't know if this comes with age, but I've always been like this. John's always been like this. And coming up, I started 29 years old, and it was 2008. And, we were worried about being oversaturated, posting too much. And we had the ability and the mindset and the creative energy to create a weekly video and create a brand and, be a full force. We had a podcast going. That was 12 years ago. So we had the in the hindsight, we had the instincts, but we didn't follow through because we were fearful of exactly this negative output of like post. I just was never that person. I've never been and I never will. I'd rather just go take a walk in a park and make fun of someone rather than do it online.
Man, that was Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm sorry, you pulled my fucking cord. Nope. There's only a few things I get worked up about, and it's over.
I had no idea that was going to touch such a. I didn't know it was going to spin you out like that. I'm thrilled, and I love everything you just said, dude.
Tommy,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I was going to say to that point, the thing that you added at the end about going to a park and making fun of someone, there is something magical in that. Not to the point where you're hurting someone's feelings, but just saying to someone, look at this fucking guy. There was something that happened today. My wife, my family and I, we were driving back from the beach. And right as we were about to cross the bridge to get on the parkway, we saw a fat cyclist in bicycle gear. and I said, James, check out Lance Chicken Parmstrong. And she's like, take a picture and post that. And I said, no, one, because that's mean. And two, sometimes I just want things to be between us.
Well, let's not forget the last time you did that. Mike.
What?
Mike.
What?
Mike.
I don't know.
There was a time that you did this. It's probably like 2 years ago. You took a picture of a fella who was like on a broken Segway cruising down the street, and you were like, like you just posted a picture of him to laugh at it, and someone was like, actually, this is Reginald, like he was some local dude, and you really ruffled some feathers.
I did, and that's probably one of the things that ended up dissuading me from doing that again. But I would not want to just. I'm at a point now where I wouldn't just put somebody out there just to make fun of them.
True.
Just a normal person, just to make fun of them.
It is just fun to imagine you saying to Jamie, like, Jamie, I'm not going to make fun of this guy on the internet. He doesn't need that in his life. And then the reality being like you got yelled at for making fun of a dude on a jazzy runabout 3 years ago.
This is a stretch for me to say this, but there's almost a correlation between like when you grew up, where you grew up, and your social awareness of what's correct. So like the reason we all hang out and bust each other's balls and bust other people's balls and we get more fulfillment and of just being naturally funny and being on your toes around one another in a circle where like it's constant jokes, constant jokes, constant jokes. That's because we grew up in playgrounds where you were insecure and you had to defend yourself, or you had older brothers where you had to defend yourself from like, you know, coming down the steps in the morning. I got every day I got crushed for whatever the fuck I was wearing. So then I would prepare the night before, like I got this bus coming. I got this bus coming. If he says my fucking shoes are gay, I'm gonna talk about his hairline. I'm gonna fucking, and I would like prepare myself. And I think there's a correlation with kids that are born just beyond that technological break. Whereas like I'm 40 years old. I know you guys are close, but we didn't have that advancement of technology quite yet. So we're still in the park developing and sharpening our fucking wise ass spear. Right. Mm-hmm. So like I know how to defend myself in any situation to feel comfortable. A lot of comics and people that I meet along the way in the past decade didn't have that same situation. So they think comedy is developing a fundamental joke with a twist at the end. And it's all about your mind. If you're smart, you can develop a very bright joke on stage and have enough balls to bypass your autism for fucking 5 minutes and get a couple laughs. And in our circle, that's why I don't get a kick out of like the desire for Twitter to captivate me or create a false world that because I lived it. Like I lived a fun, interesting world where all my aunts and uncles were batshit crazy with mental and you know, drug abuse issues, and it was just a constant fucking carnival. And I only get that from people that live the same carnival, and I refuse to try and suck this stone dry from a bunch of boring pussies.
Tommy, that's one of the things that surprised me about comedy. I just thought it would be incessant ball breaking, everybody just fucking left free for all. And I quickly realized there were very few people I could do that to, because most people that you do that to, they immediately retreat into a shell, and then it's no fun. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, do I apologize even though I was just fucking kidding, or let it go? And now if you did that to somebody, it would just be a fucking 300-word essay on how problematic you are. Meanwhile, I'm just making fun of your fucking dumb shoes.
Listen, man, I remember my dad saying that his generation was a dying breed. This is bad. Technology's ruined everything, and including our ability to associate with humor.
Yeah, can we actually please not stigmatize being a fucking dork?
Yeah, exactly.
We need to normalize being a fucking dildo.
Yeah, I'll die on the dildo and dork hill.
You know what? One benefit of, first of all, this is not a great way to grow up. It's not a great way to live, but the choice was made. It's like, what are we gonna fucking dwell on it for the rest of our lives, or are we just gonna operate the way we know how and make the improvements where we can? But one thing that we don't have is I don't know about you guys, but I never get stuck in a situation where I'm like, I should have said this. You know what I mean? After any kind of interaction, it just goes in the pocket. It's like, all right, I'll get them next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this again. I feel like a dildo for keep saying this industry, but like this, until I started this industry, I never felt insecure about anything because I wasn't going on daily auditions and bombing, and then going on, on stage at night bombing again, and I had to wake up going, why am I trying to impress people I don't give a fuck about, all for the wrong reasons? Where I just left the city that I loved and the people I loved to create content that I loved, and now it's just a reworking of what matters to me.
Wow, the course is being corrected now, dude.
Huh?
The course is being corrected as we speak.
Yeah, well, I think after a while you realize it doesn't matter. And, plants being a perfect example of me hitting 40, things matter differently to you as you get a little older and realize, you can bypass some of these corners and not play the game of someone that's going to infect your mind in a negative way and ultimately affect your actions in a negative way. You can be yourself as long as you surround yourself. I think McKeever taught me this more than anyone. Is like surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals that are better than you in many ways is the most success you'll ever find. And whether that's through an emotional connection, an educational connection, a creative connection, whether someone's funnier than you on a consistent basis or someone that makes you reflect. And that's both of you. Butterly's one of the funniest human beings I've ever met in my life. And Michael, you made me think about things in a different light, in a humanistic light that just saying I love you, or reaching out and telling one of your best friends why they're your best friend at a random moment. I remember the first time you texted me, I was like, dude, get off the Ben Franklin Bridge. It's not fucking working. You can't be telling me these personal things. You're going to suck a hose full of fucking exhaust. You got to be killing yourself. But then I'm like, wow, if you mean it, obviously is most important. If you fucking mean it, but reaching out to someone and being honest and open and vulnerable is a powerful thing. And that only came with age and experience.
Dude, that's 100% the truth, man. And I feel that way about each one of you guys. Like there's only, I would say there's maybe like 5 people that I would talk to, take the time to talk to just to ask like what's going on, whether it's like text or fucking calling. And you two guys are 2 of them. Fucking Gerben, McKeever, fucking McCusker now. And it's like, I just feel like, and I view people the same way. Anybody I associate with, like, they're better than me in some capacity, and all of you guys are that.
Yeah.
And it's I know the opposite can be like, I see it a lot, primarily in women, where it's just like a really hot chick will surround herself with the ugliest, fattest bitches.
Yeah.
Where I my mindset is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shame in being the 6th man if you're on the all-star team.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're like a Voltron of white trash dildos. Like, we all add to this giant machine that makes us all better.
We're like a Voltron that you got to sell for parts.
Eventually, yeah. I was talking to O'Connor about this last night. He's creating a piece. I'm not going to say what it is.
It's cartoon.
Yeah, it's cartoon.
Yeah, he was talking about it on here.
Yeah, we were catching a dart in the backyard, and we were speaking on a similar level of like surrounding yourself with such a web of interesting perspective people that make your product better, because if you can create something on paper, that's fine, but if you put it in someone else's voice, let them go. Like what we did with you guys on set, for everything we've created. It's like, I have a message I want you to say, but do it in your own fucking way. Mm-hmm. And you have a mixed bag of all these different messages that then align with your message, but they're so remarkable. And it's like, it's like planets gravitating towards the sun. And that's what makes plants grow. I'm gonna
Have you done mushrooms recently, Tommy?
Oh man, no, I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not, bro. First of all, this is, we get accused of this all the time, but it's true. This platform is for slurping each other off and slurping each other off only, dude.
Well, that's the concept of your show, and that's why I think it's so wonderful, because being gay again for me is like like, once you get that fucking touch of vulnerability and the capability of like feeling good and making other people feel good, like, other people should try it. And all you're doing all day long is making some dude in a bread truck who wants to murder his kids feel good for a moment. They're like, I shouldn't stab him. Fred's got one more night, like, you're just trying to push people in a positive light, and you're doing it. And
there's no going back after that too. And when you open those pathways to people who might be hesitant to do those things, when they start communicating to you in the ways that you're communicating to others, there's no turning back. And it just feels like a whole new world is fucking opened up when you can be open and honest with people. Not only open and honest with people, but it also helps you to refine your focus and realize what you should be spending your time doing.
Yeah. And it also starts to bleed into other aspects of your life that have nothing to do with your, your job.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was thinking earlier when
you want to spread some of the love to your dick?
Look, if you love your boys, dude, give them fat meat. Make their fucking bird thick. Give them 105% hard wiener.
What an awkward shift of boner pills.
No.
I love around.
That actually ties into what you were talking to earlier, how there's no life to be lived right now because of the lockdown and shit like that. Mm-hmm. But I think you'll agree with me. I think there is some there to be wrung out if you put the effort in. Like, dude, just doing the UFC streams with you guys, and like, to me, that's first of all, we're not out at a bar. We are together, and we're all kind of concentrated on each other. So it's almost like a concentrate of the time that we would spend together, because there's no distractions. It's just us and our boys. How many times do we do the UFC streams and we forget to even like watch the fights? Like, we'll miss entire fights just because we're spending time together. And that's bled over into like the beautiful little community that's building up around Dad Meat. It's like there is a place on the internet, at least. Maybe this is selfish. Maybe this is just all for me. But now when I go on the internet, I actually get to interact with people who are actually interested in each other and actually interested in, you can still be fucking. First of all these people crush me. Every time we make an episode, I get hit with a Photoshop of me looking like a fucking idiot. And it makes me laugh every single time. But I also know that there's no, to me, that's affection. It feels affectionate. Yep. And
you're fucking roasted. You put on a Brad Pitt body? Fuck you. Nah. You're a fat roller skater.
So that's how I'm living right now. I'm connecting with people every day. Like, we talk to people that listen and people that join in every single day. And like, we're kind of just like collaborating on one shared consciousness. Just, like, I don't know. Maybe we're all desperate to just at least know that someone else is out there trying to live, and we're not all just like getting fat and drunk every day of quarantine and looking for shit to make us sad on the internet.
Yeah, good point. I mean, there's a bit of both. It's
Nah.
that's when the sun goes down. I get hit the horn. And,
Oh, sure. But I mean, your day's done at that point. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the nightcap. I'm not judging. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't have fucking 3 kids.
I just made edibles I just made brownies for the first time.
How'd that go?
Leave them alone.
A disaster. It was a complete disaster. I had no idea how much to put in, and I ate one brownie, and I realized I also made a mistake because I just wanted brownies, so I just wanted to just keep eating. So I got to the point where like it felt like my entire body was like buzzing, and I felt like I wasn't even on the couch anymore. I didn't have a panic attack or anything, but I was like, wow, I can't do anything right now.
Yeah, I see fucking Diaz do that on Rogan. Like, the desire to get that lost is so fucking to me. I can't even hear people talk about being so fucking lost
I don't like it.
and high.
I felt like I was made of yarn, and all the yarn was rubbing against the other yarns. Not a great sensation. Probably hard to explain.
I can't. It's the anxieties. It's too much. I'm not chemically made for that kind of high. I don't know how to do it. I've been trying to get into it. I got some gummies sent to me from a buddy out west, and it's like 5 milligrams. It's nothing.
That's perfect, dude. That's a nice afternoon. Come on.
I hear these motherfuckers talking about 200 milligrams. I'm like, well, now I feel like a pussy, and I got to up it. And then I did 10 once, and I was out of my fucking gourd for like 12 hours. Just I woke up hungover, cotton mouth.
Yeah.
It was
Surrounded by plants.
Yeah. So I got 3 plants. I went up to Miguel. I was like, "Are you up?" No, I don't. I can't fuck with weed. I'm trying to learn how to do it. So if any of your fans want to teach me, I have the speed high, or a speed chemical makeup. I don't know if that's sativa or the other one.
I always forget. It doesn't matter.
It's body high and mind high. I don't want to shut this down. I want to shut the
Yeah, I'm not good at telling the difference. Probably a CTE symptom.
I heard somebody say the difference between indica and sativa is think of indica as in the couch, like you're not going anywhere.
I will remember that.
What about both? Like, can you find a mix? Because I don't like opioids where they just like, or Valium where they just make you.
Yeah, could you get like half indica, half perk 30?
Yeah, can you do that? I'm dead serious. Is that like it's a strain?
Yeah, you get a hybrid.
Man, every fucking cast I'm on, I act like a goddamn dad.
You know what? A good way to level yourself off, Tommy, is to take an OxyContin and put clamps on each of your nipples.
Keeps you up.
Yeah.
We got a message on our Patreon this week. Well, first of all, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, Mike sends out a blast to everyone on the Patreon, and it's always hey, just checking on you guys, see how you know how's everyone making out. Hit us up if there's anything we can do for you guys, and we get a lot of genuine interactions out of that. Again, dude, I'm living my life on the internet the best I can. I'm plugging in, and we got a response last week. It might have been a new patron, but it was like, what the fuck is this? Is this a real message or is this automated? And I was like, yeah, dude,
you're so genuine.
Mike does this shit all the time. Yeah, like I imagine if you heard like a more recent episode and we're completely loosened up and we're not in the throes of depression.
Yeah,
you might maybe you could miss the fact that we're trying to do a service, but I mean, any bub that's been here from the beginning knows what the fuck we're about.
And it's so cool finding out like what people's lives entail, and they try to play it off like it's no big fucking deal. Like one of the things that I was wowed by recently was just communicating with a dog pretty close by to us, not a couple hours away from Philly. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I own a bison ranch, and if you guys ever want to stop out, I was just like, yeah, I would love to fucking come hang out with bison.
Incredible. It like how people glorify the dog shit that we do, and then like that's all. I would love to be a range fucking manager.
Well, dude, very early on, since when we started Dad Meat, there was a guy that we started communicating with. We had mentioned how much we would love to just come out to the desert and just get spaced out.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to space out in Arizona if you ever want to come.
I decided I'm going to let him murder me.
You have to.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to insist.
You got to do a little background here, right? Is he trying to eat your ass, or is he trying to like actually hang out?
No, it just seems like a guy that it seems open to just letting people come and do cool shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It'd be a definite plus if he would murder me.
That's kind of like Stanhope's attitude, right? I mean, only to comic. but like he just has like this open yard. It's like, yeah, come out here, let's go fucking hang out. I don't know if they just eat hot dogs and get fucked up, but I don't know. It sounds great. Just
Are you a desert guy, Tommy?
Michael? No. Good fucking Lord.
Tommy would do well on like one of those lakes in the desert. You know what I mean? Where like Cowboy Cerrone hangs out.
I could sooner do the forest before the desert. I'm a beach guy now, later in life, but I was a Poconos guy. I went to Lake Wallenpaupack every
I love when you say Wallenpaupack.
It's so white trash. It's such a weird way to, first of all, it's a weird word. It's a terrible word to say, let alone with a dog shit accent. I tried to lose my dog shit accent when I went to Drexel. I didn't know you weren't supposed to talk like this. And they're like, yeah, you're retarded. And I was like, I'll fix this. And I did. It's a choice. So Brian Six, if you're listening, change the way you fucking speak. But I'll say this. I fell in love with the mountains because it's just a different vibe, different people. It's different than the city life. Whereas the shore for us, everybody goes from Philadelphia, as you know, to South Jersey during the summers, but it's the same losers you hung out with. So like the migration from Delco and Philly to South Jersey doesn't change the experience.
It's crazy because they almost pack up the neighborhoods wholesale, and they even go to like insular neighborhoods. Like, you know who's going to North Wildwood, you know who's going to Margate. You can tell just by where they're from.
Yeah, it's like, and they talk about like going to like a specific, like, yeah, you got to go to fucking see Isles, whatever the fuck bar, and it's like, oh, so I can see the same fucking dildos that I hung out with at Casey's 10 years ago. This is a nightmare. It's like going home the night before Thanksgiving and seeing the same dickheads you never liked tonight. Why am I doing this? All for the sun and a couple waves. That's what's been great for me later in life, because I found out I love the beach, and when you know nobody. So like we head out to like Rockaway and Jacob Reese and stuff like that. But I'm a beach guy now. Like I got a beach umbrella that has like parrots on it during quarantine. I got a beach chair. I got a cup holder. We got a blanket. Like I do it like an old man. Like I do it like a family man with no kids. And then I packed a cooler full, like a whole bottle of tequila, and I get fucking ripped.
Yeah, right. I know you. Yeah. I know you still make someone throw you a football so you could die for it in the sand.
Carrie makes fun of me all the time because if I see two dudes like, you know, coming by with a football, I'm one of these guys. Dude, I think she posted a video when we went to Cuba. There was a group of 4 like teenage kids throwing a football, which is really rare. I mean, it's because they were terrible at it because they're usually used to using their feet with a different ball. But, and I was like, this is my chance to feel like I'm home, because it was 5 days ago. We locked our cell phones away. There's no service. And it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. So it's me and these kids. I had like 3 or 4 balls, and they were like, whoa, because they couldn't throw for shit. So they thought I was like some kind of wizard, some football wizard. And they're all getting excited. And I think I'm done, because I don't want to take up their time. They're just kids talking about getting jerked off in parks and stuff. So I'm like, I'm too old. This is weird. I don't want your dad coming down. And so I head back to my blanket, and they come back, and they're like, hey, he's trying to get this one kid to say, we're going to play 4-on-4 and we need you. And basically it was the message. I need you to play with us so we can play 4-on-4. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll play 4-on-4. I was trying to avoid it because I know it's a big thing. You're gonna have to play to at least 10. These kids suck. So like,
and Tommy, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are legally required to tell them that you used to be a child quarterback, correct?
from where we're from, it's I stated right out of the bat. Yeah.
But you know what though? It's funny to joke about, but Tommy was the quarterback for probably the most dominant fucking kids football team, maybe on the East Coast outside of Florida.
Yeah, 5 out of 7 year championships, and we lost once in the championship. I still bring it up. My brother actually tops me. They went an undefeated 7 for 7 championships out of 7 championships. It was a small cohesive unit called the Drexel Raiders in Delaware County that had like elite coaching, and we just fucking rolled on dudes. I remember my best friend Cooch from Collingdale. They didn't beat me once in 7 years. Hilarious that I still have joy about that. I just got a text from my father, and he sent me like these MVP trophies, and he's like, yeah, do you want these? And I'm like, no, what the fuck? What I want, old trophies. And it kind of fired him up, because I realized that he was probably trying to save them because my father was a legendary coach. and I could hear like the argument in the background about my mom trying to get rid of these for years. And he's like, all right, well, let's talk to Tom. He's going to love them, and this will win it. And I was like, no, throw him out. And he was like,
you want to kill Tommy? It's part of his childhood.
yeah. But the joy that I found in that league, I hate to be this dildo that says this right now, but I wrote an article for the New York Times based on concussions, and part of this story was I feel bad for the kids that won't play the sport because they won't experience the life-changing lessons and social cues that you get from being a member of the
TBI club.
Yeah. So I'll take a few concussions to learn some of these gifts in life that you can only get through these programs where they make you throw up by doing fucking calisthenics in August. And then you battle with these small kids and you look at them on screen, they're 5 to 12 years old. But in those years, I learned more about life, which directed, me as a person and my character and personality than anything would. And that will never happen again. Even the kids that are doing it, due to technology, aren't out in the park telling each other they're fat. So it's a weird push and pull kind of thing. I don't even remember the original question, and I apologize again. I talk a lot.
No, but I'm glad I got started on this because that is like one of the things that will be so difficult for kids to be able to replicate now. It's like there's some kind of magic in being respectful and taking the words to heart of a guy who's worked a fucking 12-hour day and is still in his work clothes, screaming at you, telling you how to throw a block.
Yeah. Also, like the drills. The drills implemented a set of fears that I never knew I had, because as a quarterback, you're protected. You're not usually put in. If you see it from every level, they give you a red jersey. Don't touch this guy. He's the guy that has to play every down or whatever. But in my little unit, they would put me head to head with Billy Haley.
Yeah.
And this dude made when a professional baseball player hits a home run, the crack of the bat is like nothing else. This dude would go helmet to helmet with every dude and just make kids forget their future. Dude. And the helmet, like after game, if we played like a blue team or a red team, it would just like earn stripes and you just saw like the making of a fucking lunatic on this dude's head. And you knew right then, this kid's going to be a fucking animal his whole life. This is a pure indicator. But we did this head-to-head drill. You'd lay on your back, you'd stare at the sky, you're sucking for air through this fucking this mouthpiece. And I know I'm so scared because I know what this kid's capable of. And you think they're going to give you someone soft, and Millicent blows the whistle. He's like, all right, Papa, get up there. Let's make this interesting. He's like, Haley. And I was like, ah. And immediately I felt this fear. And that changed going through a couple skill sets like that, like being exposed to fear. This is going to be the most outlandish thing I said tonight, but like imagine a soldier getting his first shot off at his gun, or like, explosion around them. They react a little differently. That's why in boot camp, they blow shit up all over the place. So you're ready for it. Getting that done at an early age is like, your first fist fight, getting punched in the face for the first time. It changes the course of your personality development and who you are as a person, let alone a leader, a potential leader. And that you can only get through that fucking youth organization and get rocked.
What's that maniac kid doing these days?
Installing a train horn in his pickup truck.
Fucking true. And offline, I'll tell you the experience I've had in that truck with him. I can't say it. This is probably going to go up on YouTube. But yeah, he picked me up from what's that joint? Who cares, Tom? Anyway, yeah, at a bar. We hung out at a bar and then went out to his car, and then I heard the horn.
It was Tip O'Leary's. He took us to Maggie's after that.
Yes, Maggie's. It was Tip O'Leary's.
And it was like they were open late, and I was seated next to an off-duty cop who told me the N-word in the course of like 3 minutes of conversation.
He told you the N-word?
Yeah. I was like, what does this mean? I hear
Mike, I hate to break it to you, but
that's how woke he was from growing up in Glen Olden, Wasn't Glen Olden. Where'd you grow up, Lane? It's not Glen Olden.
Upper Darby.
Upper Darby, okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wouldn't have said that online. That's permanent, huh? I don't remember the original question, but yeah.
I think I can maybe that's a common experience, is that you were forced to do something extremely fearful,
Yeah.
and you weren't allowed to back out of it.
Yeah, they talk about the science behind the element of fear being necessary for creating a permanent memory. And 90% of my permanent memories at in my adolescent years, up to 12, 13 years old, came through a scared moment or a frightening moment of physical violence, whether
Dude,
that be inside the house, on the street, or on the football field.
Dude, there was about a year ago, I remember I was coaching at a jiu-jitsu tournament, and a bunch of the kids, you know, if kids get fucking smoked, they don't want to go back out. But I think, as you know, you're their caretaker in that situation, you have to convince them to go back out there. And a lot of times you also have to convince the parents to send them out there. And there was one definitive moment where a kid didn't want to go out there, and I was explaining to her why she had to go back out there. Then the mom jumped in and said, no, she's not going to do it. And I could immediately see how this is going to affect her life, having that kind of influence, constantly saving her from these situations.
Yeah. I mean, Tim said it earlier about, like, it's not the optimal way to be raised, but there were elements of, if not for those situations, I wonder what I would be like. You know, it's the negatives, even in the household negatives. I'm like, I understand. I get it. It was tough for them. Like, you're exposed to elements of physical and emotional and psychological abuse that you can't explain. If I had a kid, I wouldn't want that to happen to them. But then if you go on the other side of the coin to, like, just sports and community activities, I also don't want to be a helicopter parent. I want them to experience those things through sport or through academics or through whatever the fuck. I don't care if it's a group of fucking nerds doing flute. Like, get them in something so that they can learn how to adapt and be versatile like a chameleon.
Or put failure on the table, and leave it there.
Yeah, and if they don't get hit on a field, you got to punch them yourself in the kitchen.
Dude, I'm having the hardest time with my 9-year-old, because he's been in jiu-jitsu for like 2 years now. He memorized, he picks everything up, he pays attention, he knows how to do it, and then it's like, okay, go, and he just will not, like, push anyone at all. Like, he'll just, like, all right, I'll just lose. You look like you really want this. You go ahead and take it. And I don't know what it is. God damn it.
He's like, what'd you say, pussy?
Yeah, someone's mowing my window.
It'd be great if he just punched you directly in the face.
He just jumped the dirt bike through the front window. Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know what the fuck it is, man. Because I think there's, like, a positive trait about him that makes him not want to assert himself against people. But at the same time, it's like there is a line that, and, like, all this is pretend. This is all practice. So it's, I don't know how to. Motherfucker, dude. There's a parade outside. I don't know how to break it down to him. Like, look, at some point, someone's not going to be playing with you, and you're going to have to, like, fight them.
Yeah.
Are all kids, like, convinced now that no one's ever going to fight them ever?
Great question. I have no idea.
I never wanted to fight as a kid, and yet I always knew it was going to happen, and it happened.
Dude, most of the fight videos I watch online, Jesus, Tom.
You're in good company.
Like,
you shut up.
Some kid that wasn't exposed to, like, those certain elements, and you could see the life-changing moment when you could tell it's the first time I've ever been slapped or punched. They're just like, that shockwave that goes through your system. Like, oh, I shouldn't act like that. I shouldn't do that.
But Tim, just know that the shit is sinking in, and it's gradually. I think it's just like an on-off switch. Case in point, at Monday's kids class, the last sparring of the day, he was matched up with somebody who turned his back, and Ben took his back. He did it twice.
Oh, all right.
Well. I should have probably texted you this, but it was enough to where, like, I noticed it. I was watching somebody else, and I noticed him do it twice, to the point where I went over and complimented him because he did it in two separate situations.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though those situations might be happening, like, there is shit that's going on behind the scenes where it's just like, okay, I know to do this in this situation.
Yeah. He's also he's the way I was. He's very sweet. So kids at school might make fun of him, but then he also can fire back a little bit verbally, but no one ever, like, crosses the line with him, I guess. He's kind of, like, disarming in how sweet he is. On the other hand, my daughter has been in fights and, like, outnumbered at school. And so she knows that, like, eventually you might have to fuck someone up. So I don't have that problem with her. Thank goodness. But I don't know, man. I have a hard time picking out, like, which traits to preserve in kids and which ones to terrify out of them.
Man, I mean, I feel bad for even speaking so much on this because I have no idea. Like you guys would know.
Well, you're speaking, in your own experience.
Yeah, I am. But I don't. It's different. It's different these days. You don't know what I can't imagine. I can't imagine like the push and pull, knowing your kid is both capable of taking control, but also not assertive and aggressive, which is a positive thing. But it depends on if it's for sport. Are they capable of turning it on just for those moments, but then getting back into this passive understanding and sweet, childlike ability?
I just worry that he'll never get punched in the face and he'll grow up to become a comedy journalist.
Dude, one of the most gratifying things I had ever seen, personally gratifying and also gratifying for my son too, was watching him compete and work through adversity, struggle through losses to get his first victory and then also his first submission. And quick, very early on when it became evident that like kids in tournaments are a different breed than the kids you face in classes. Seeing that look in the eyes, thinking like, fuck, how am I going to do this? Am I going to be forced to do this? But then going back out there and actually performing and getting a desired result. You can see something change in them.
Yeah.
That it would be difficult to replicate anywhere else.
Since you guys, to that point, do you guys have experience in watching other kids going, they don't have it?
Yeah.
I imagine that's the gift of a good coach going like, yeah, he's talented in a certain bubble, so to speak, with his abilities. But when given the opportunity to shine in the moment, you can't turn it on.
For sure.
You beat it out of him. You're not going to fucking.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Like in football, you actually, that's the best, I think, of all the sports. I only play baseball, football, and basketball, but that's the only opportunity for a coach to physically change that fucking mechanism of you being frightened. And that only comes through violence, right? So like if you're scared to run the ball, they're going to run you into a fucking pit of killers at whatever age it is until you go, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But when it's one-on-one combat, how long does that take and does it ever change? It's an interesting thought.
I think it's different for every kid. Any kid that I've seen compete on a regular basis, eventually you see that subside. And I think competition is the real where you separate the wheat from the chaff. At that point, it's like, all right, you're molding somebody. Whereas like class, it's great. You have to show up for class and it can be fun. Whereas like with competition, like the kids feel the same thing that the adults do when you walk in there. You got to shit. You feel like you got to shit. The second you smell the venue. The second you smell the venue, the mat, hear the old wrestling coaches yelling before competitions and like that kind of shit, whether they get it now or they will likely get it later on, they know they've already experienced, performed in those kind of conditions.
Yeah, when I first get there and it's time for me on a competition day, I want to take all my clothes off. Because like so in jiu-jitsu sometimes you're wearing the gi, sometimes you're just wearing like the fucking tights and shorts and shit like that. But no matter what I'm wearing, I instantly feel like, how is this so heavy? How could I possibly perform as an athlete with all over encumbered right now? And it's just obviously it's like an excuse, but yeah, dude, that's where I go mentally.
Tim, you should just weigh in like an extra 9 times. I just want to be sure.
Were you guys afraid of? I was afraid of ugly kids growing up. I was terrified of ugly children when I was growing up because I always thought, maybe this is I don't know. I had some experiences with very ugly kids growing up. Like fucked up faces. Their teeth fell out in a bad order. Their baby teeth fell out, and some of them were fucking punched out by like stepdads and shit. And no one had good haircuts when we were kids. Kids today have like TV haircuts. When I was a kid, everyone looked like they escaped from a hospital.
Yeah,
with their hair.
Yeah, I was afraid of that kid that's like, he goes to like the public school around the corner, but like you could tell his mom's cutting his own hair in the basement. He's not nourished. He's got a couple bruises. I have so many fucking references.
Scabs all over his face.
I would never, and there's always knee scabs that like never heal. Not a constant peel like a cicada. Like it's guys. He's reworked somehow, and like I only got fucked up like once a week you get in a not just a scuffle, but like physically you're worn down by doing sports or playing with your friends at a park, so you're always active. The dudes that scared me the most were the ones that were never active, but had the scars of someone that was the most active. Like, dude, I never see you on this park. Why do you have elbows and knees and forehead bruises? You're fucking.
It's all just chain wallet scrapes.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was like 25 to 35. I'd start thinking back on these people, like, oh, and then it would just finally hit like, that's just all family and you know, that's an unfortunate upbringing. That's why you got killed with a fucking ice pick. You know, like, I get it. You didn't have any control at home.
Being poor always bought every kid a lot of undue credibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we all had fucking fucked up haircuts, and we all looked like we called our dad's paw.
Yeah. I said this on like Foley and Ryan's Are You Garbage? But you know, the clearest sign of being poor is like if you hide it by faking it so hard. Like my mother's attempt at pretending that we weren't in the income bracket that we were was so grandiose, and I think that's why I still spray cologne on my fucking face to go to the supermarket, because like I have this innate, you know, need to fake my success and wealth, because that's bred into you from your parents. Going, yeah, don't walk out there with a hole in your khakis. It's like, you're not gonna buy me fucking new ones. Yeah. So you know, it's just a constant battle.
Yeah. Growing out of that is why you don't have a china cabinet covered in dust.
Yeah, that's a good sign. It's a good start. We have China.
Dude, we cannot be poor. We have nice plates. Have you seen the fucking plates, dude? Take a look.
It's so true.
No, we can't use them at Thanksgiving.
It's so true.
You scratch them, we can't fucking replace them.
Dude, the angriest I ever saw my mom get was when I had an indoor basketball hoop, and me and my buddy Martin LaPont, I don't know if I should say his last name, but he was a Polish immigrant, and we were fucking dunking on this thing in my living room, and my mom had these two crystal candle holders, and Martin dunked it and bricked it off the back of the rim, and it bounced over onto the table, and it broke one of the crystal candle holders. And my mother fucking squealed as though like she found my father dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound in the tub. She grabbed Martin by the back of his neck and she threw him out of the house. And at the time, like, she didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks, but it wasn't until I got older that I realized, like, oh shit, it's because we're poor, and she finally got something nice, and now she didn't have that thing.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is you used to get hit by other kids' parents when you were a kid.
Dude, my boy Cooch's father was it's the scariest character I've ever met in my life. We were so frightened because we would fuck around the basement. Obviously, he'd just come down and be like, "Hey, Rob." He just yelled at from the top of the steps, and I knew just never. Don't move.
I remember one time I ran out of a friend's house. We were doing something dumb, probably just being too loud playing Sega, and his mom was furious about us like knocking something. I don't know, but she was charging at him, and as I was like getting out of the path, she was like, "You're next. Like, I'm gonna fuck you up when I'm done with him." And I ran out of this fucking house around the corner. I ran all the way home because I didn't want to get fucked up by this dude's mom.
Dude, this is my boy's dad. This is actually one of the first memories I have of him like scaring the fuck out of me. The Sega thing. Remember when you'd start Sega, we go Sega. Mm-hmm. We taught his young brother to go dildo. Dude, he was fucking 5. So he could go dildo. Because we play Sega for hours in the fucking bunker basement, and you hear the door, you hear his Frankenstein feet, and you go, "Hey, Rob, hey, come here a minute." And I was like looking for exits through like one of those fucking.
Oh, dude, come here a minute.
Come here a minute.
I'd rather hear a gun cock than come here a minute.
Dude, I actually had one experience where like it was the exact opposite, where this kid's mom was just nicer than she probably should have been. We were like 16 and having a basement party with Bud Ice and Zima, and it was just there were probably at least 5 kids who had alcohol poisoning at that point. And rather than address the situation directly, she wrote a note, folded it, and threw it down the stairs. And then somebody's like, "Yo, turn off the music." And they're like, did something just come down the stairs? And my friend Tim went over and opened it up, and it was a note from his mother saying, "Timmy, I don't mind some drinking, but I cannot allow binge drinking in my house.
Oh, it's so funny.
Where's he today?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah.
He's good, man.
I don't know if did I tell actually I probably didn't, but I don't want to tell a story twice on this fucking show. I've only been here twice, but there's I think it was high school, like sophomore year or junior year. We decided to drink some beers at my parents' house, and I thought my mom wouldn't come home. She was a night nurse, so I was like, my dad's out, let's all hang out. It was me and like 4 of my boys, and we put this like bottle or this case of Busch bottles behind this one door that we had, and we'd all be playing pool and fucking off. And then all of a sudden, I hear my mom come home, so we hide all the bottles and whatnot. She walks down the steps. The rest of the case is in the fridge. So now I have to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do with this case of beer. No, my mother's coming home. She knows something's up. This is kind of weird. She starts asking my buddies questions. I pretend I got to go, to the bathroom. I grab the extra case, slide it underneath the kitchen table, thinking like she'll never fucking see this. It's close to 12:30. She comes upstairs. I go back down, and I guess she decides to have a fucking bowl of cereal like a psychopath and kicks the case of beer. And then I hear the same thing, like, Tom, can you come up here for a minute? And then I go upstairs. Cat's out of bag. She's like, bring all your friends up here. And I'm thinking, do not be that fucking rat parent. Don't call, because I had like a couple other situations where they would get a call going, your son's over at my house and they're drinking. And so I'm like, please, Mom, please, I'm pleading. Please don't do this, because I'll look like a fucking pussy at school, and don't.
They're going to think I'm gay, Mom. I'm never going to fuck. They're going to think I'm gay.
And she did something worse. And she sat us all down.
She pointed at you and said, dildo.
She sits us down in the living room and hands out pamphlets for Alcoholics Anonymous. And then gives me, it was Izzy, Mullen, Rothline, Rowan, like just a bunch of us, just like, we're still on like 6 beer days, just like hanging out, like fucking. And then she's giving speeches on like how this is going to change the course of your life. These small moments, and she's speaking like this, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, you're ruining everything I've tried to start. Like, I'm fucked. I got a crazy mom trying to talk my kids or my buddies into going to AA because
it's over.
15 and boozing, playing pool. Jesus Christ!
Did you feel all them just like seething with anger and hatred toward you?
That's the whole time. Just cracking up like it didn't fucking matter because his parents were degenerates. So he's like, what's going to happen to me? This is just the greatest thing I'm witnessing. It's like, you're getting embarrassed in front of your mom. But there was truly one dude that was like, please don't call. And then I remember staying up for like another hour and a half till my dad got home.
Oh, no.
And the whole conversation there was like, please don't tell him. And she's like, I have to tell him. And she did, and I thought I was going to get the belt, and he ended up talking me off the ledge because my brother Steven was forced to go to AA at like 18 because of my mom's behavior. So he knew she was like all over the place, like way too much.
Wait, was he like? Did you wait? Hold on. Your brother went to AA 18. Did he need to, or was that a punishment from your mom?
Punishment. Absolute punishment.
Ooh, he's punished. Ooh.
This dude's getting, he's blacking out on the golf course for 4 years. Now, granted,
time and place.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad idea.
So, Tommy, if he's blacking out on the golf course, would it be fair to say that your behavior was on par?
There he goes, Mike. Huh? You got to be sober to say something like that. No, but later in life, I think she kind of softened up and realized that we were just fucking, a bunch of white trash maniacs. But that's where you go to drink. You go to a park. Mm-hmm. Parker, how many times you get chased in a golf course and you just see like some fat dude running with like a flashlight and you're like, oh, I got a 30-minute head
That's
start.
almost part of the point. Part of the point is getting chased by a fucking cop who kind of doesn't give a shit because it happens all the time. But he also like wants to like put you through the paces.
There was one dude in Drexel Hill. I'm sorry, am I talking too much?
No, you're our guest, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, all right. Shut the fuck up.
So, Tim, exactly right. There was like a 95% of cops were like, let's scare these kids out of here. It was like a Scooby-Doo commercial. Like, yeah, no fucking, don't be drinking it on the courts, kids. And they would act like they're going after you, but they don't want to do the paperwork. They don't want to arrest you.
Ah, you rascals, get out of here.
Yeah, they don't want to talk to the white trash dad that's like, no, not my boy. I can't possibly tackle my fucking Randy. And then there was this one dude we called RoboCop, who took his fucking job serious. And he would, at one point, he could chase you for miles. And he was known for running you down, regardless of where the chase started and where it ended. There's this one time where Dermont Field. And when you enter the court at Dermont, it's about 150 yards from where we were drinking in this little park bench. And we could see it's RoboCop because the court's lit up, which is why we weren't drinking on the court. And he was blonde hair and he was like a machine, like the fucking.
He sounds hot. Was he hot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was hot cop. Hot cop for
cool.
sure. And jacked, like fucking roided jacked. And he's walking slowly and he's just walking towards us, trying to break us up. And some of the younger kids, I think I was like a sophomore. The freshmen and sophomores are like, oh, fuck. And they just scattered like roaches. And this one dude started talking shit because they knew it was RoboCop. And he's like, fuck you, RoboCop. You ain't shit, RoboCop. He's yelling from this fucking, this park bench. And RoboCop just slowly picks up his pace. And he starts running. And this dude decides, I'm going to give him like 50 yards. Because right beyond this park bench is a break in a little alley. And you disappear from the visual of the entire field, which is huge. It's like a mile. But you go into the suburbs. So this dude was like, fuck you, like just trying to get his friends all riled up, takes off, and he caught him. I mean, he took a right and then went like in an alley and then jumped the fence and then went in. He caught him within like 20 minutes, just sniffed him out. And from that point on, like we never fucked with RoboCop.
He earned your respect.
I mean, how could you not? I mean, it would ruin your career as a kid, as a respectable kid.
What did he say RoboCop was like when he caught him? Was he all business or was he like, good chase, kid?
Yeah, he didn't he was one of the dudes that he took his job a little too serious. He thought like locking a fucking kid up or putting him in, in a tank for 12 hours is going to change the course of society. He was one of those dickheads.
Damn. I'm not trying to get chased into the woods by a cop by myself as a kid. Yeah. Especially a hot cop.
It wasn't the woods. If it was the woods, I can understand him getting caught. He went into like the
okay. Yeah. All right.
Suburb, which is like, there's no way he's going to catch you. There's no fucking way. And I know the dude's name. I'm not going to say it, but it like ruined his. I think he got suspended for the rest of the year. It's like a senior. Imagine that taking the
RoboCop got to be in the paper.
Anyway, that story was way too long. It sucked. I'm so sorry.
Stop it, dude. I hate when you do this.
Yeah, you guys just
stop wondering if you're talking too much. We asked you here because we wanted to fucking chat with you, and the more you tell us, the happier it makes us. And you're a compelling storyteller, dude. You have maybe my favorite segment on This Is Not Happening.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
So shut the fuck up, dude. Knock it off. There's none of that, dude. There's none of that second guessing, bro. This isn't even a podcast, dude. This isn't even recorded. This is just us sharing a moment, bro.
I feel like if you don't feel that about yourself, you're kind of a piece of shit. Like if you don't cut yourself off midway going, you don't care. People are like, no, yeah, I care.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The worst quality is someone talking forever and then thinking they're entertaining or interesting and they're just not. So that's my fear.
I get it.
You're never that. And if you keep doing this shit, Tommy, we're gonna call RoboCop. We're gonna add him to this Zoom call. So you've been warned. You've been let off with a warning.
All right, let's take a break. I got to refill water, pee my pants, and we'll go over to the Patreon. Tom, can you stick around and jump into the Patreon with us?
No, I'm out, man. My story's...
Shut the fuck up. All right.
Wait, before we go, let's do Blue Chew. Hey.
Yeah, go to bluechew.com. Get a fat fucking bird. Promo code FATBIRD. It's the only... Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah, they're free. You pay $5 for shipping. If you want a fucking rock hard bird, go there. Bluechew.com. Promo code FATBIRD.
Also, real quick before we go, I've been loosely following the YouTube chat this entire time and just proving the point that I was making earlier about this being like a fucking sweet community full of people having like genuine interactions and giving a shit. Like we're all on quarantine. We're all isolated. And then I come in here and I'm just watching people like gather around and talk about, loss and sobriety and obviously goofing around and making fucking cum jokes, which rules. But yeah, fucking Deep Calm pops in, talks about how he's just not letting himself, be guided by negative experience and taking control of his own fucking path. Fucking Lafferty talking about being 17 years sober today, and
to that point, Tim, Sean Lafferty was on a team that beat the Drexel Hill Raiders.
Oh,
so we're gonna have to remind Tommy of that.
Well, and now he's in recovery, so who really won?
No.
Tommy, there's a dude in the YouTube chat who they beat you. One of the fucking bubs, Sean Lafferty. Yeah, said he was on the Ramblers.
No, he didn't.
Lafferty said they beat you, and
ask Laff if he played. Is he talking about Collingdale? Because I never lost mine. He was a weight class above me.
He is, and then he said, "Your mom gathered all the kids after the game and handed out gay A pamphlets to you and your teammates." So I don't know, man. It's your word against his.
You beat my son, you go to AA. That's just fucking rules.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you over on the Patreon, and if not, have a good weekend. Don't forget tomorrow night UFC Dab Meat Party, same YouTube channel, and we're doing it live in Fishtown. I don't know if there's any tickets left. There might be like 1 or 2, but you probably missed the chance.